Hi, I'm Diane Strauss, and our family has been in the veal industry for over 70 years. Veal has been around for quite a long time. Today, we're going to meet the family farmers and producers who raise our veal, veal's new direction, a veal that's raised kinder, gentler, more thoughtful and humane. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Diane. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for meeting us here.
Thanks for coming. What we're doing here today is simply taking you through the whole process of how we produce veal. And it starts with the bull calf. The bull calf, or the male calf, is what we use in the veal program. The heifer, which is a female, will stay on the dairy farm to be a future milking cow. But to be a milking cow, they have to produce one calf per year. And like I said, the heifer, or the female, stays here. The bull, the male, would go with us. So today we're going to pick up some male bull calves for our veal program and start you on the whole process.
If they're a little bit weaker and maybe a little bit too small to work well for the special fed veal method, then they might be bob veal.
Typically that's correct, yeah, the smaller or the weaker.
And bob veal is typically slaughtered and processed at less than a week of age.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so what do we have here, Steve?
We have two calves.
They're frisky little guys. So these have been chosen for your starter barns, right?
The dairy farmer knows kind of what I need, what I want quality-wise, and so yeah, these are two good calves. All right, we're good to go.
Off to the starter barn.
Off to the starter barn.
While Steve takes the calves to his starter barn, we're going to take a little detour, and we're going to take you to a tethered or chained, stall raised, also called crate raised, special fed veal barn. This is the type of environment that right now produces white veal. The calves are chained, and they've been chained for their entire life. They come in here at birth, and they're about 100 pounds, and they leave at about 500 pounds. As the farmer was saying, they were having a problem keeping their iron up. In order to produce white veal, they actually lost a couple calves this summer. This stall right here is empty because this calf didn't make it. As you can see, when the calves get this big, their space that they are allowed to stay in is really too small for them to do anything but stand up and lie down. He's having a hard time even getting up. Even if this produces white veal, is it really worth it? I would prefer to have healthy pink veal. It's really sad, and it's a tough place to be, but it's also a great thing to know that we're making things better. There's some obvious differences between this barn and the last one we visited, but why don't you share and expand on that a little for us?
First of all, the calves are not tied up. They're in natural lighting, which is very common in our starter farms. With being on solid ground, solid bedding at this age, it helps develop their legs quicker. The other thing is the bedding acts as almost like a roughage. They can chew on it, which is pretty common. They would chew on it as they're sitting there. That would help the stomachs develop, and that produces a healthier animal.
Steve, I have to tell you, I've worked in tethered barns, and I've loaded tethered barns, and I can't even tell you how much fun this is. The calves just seem happier here, cleaner, and healthier. And it seems like it gives you a great access to take care of the individual needs for each calf as being a young newborn calf.
First 6 weeks here, they'll have their own bowl to eat out of, and then they can get up and interact with calves around them, or they can lie down and have their privacy. How you doing? They'll be housed here for 6 weeks before going on to the finishing barn. In Europe, it was legislated to do it this way, and we brought the concept to the United States, and also brought it to the small family farm.
So instead of being obviously in their individual stalls or crates and being tethered, there's about how many per group here?
There's 5 per pen. They can lie down and turn around, get up and mosey around.
I notice immediately one of the things that I like about this barn is that you have great ventilation in here.
Right, yeah, there's no electricity in this barn at all. It's all natural ventilation, natural sunlight. You saw kind of the same thing in Europe. Except they don't have...
This is a nice version though, Steve.
Yeah.
I think it's better.
The tie stalls came from Europe 40 years ago, and that was the trend, and now this is the new trend, and I think you'll see it develop more and more as months and years go by.
Consumers want their food sources to be raised in the best manner that they can be raised, and it's important for us to provide that. It's what the consumers want.
This is where all of our feed is purchased for our veal farms. I also wanted to introduce you to David Grant.
Diane, how are you?
My
Nice to
partner,
meet you.
David,
and
nice
also
to meet
the president of the feed division here.
We're making a liquid feed for the veal calves, and that's what Steve is going to have his farmers feed to the calves, and that's made primarily from whey protein. And as you may or may not know, whey is a byproduct of cheese manufacturing. It's all food-grade product, so you could drink that if you wanted to, or use it in your coffee. So that's what we're doing as far as feed manufacturing. What we have here are some blood samples. What we try to do is make sure that they don't become anemic. We feed enough iron that they do not become anemic. And we're also checking a general health profile, white cell, red cell counts, and things of that nature.
What you're doing is helping support the family farmer, and you're ensuring that the calf is getting the best care it can.
Right. Well, this is the blending room. And all these tanks are designed to do is receive the raw materials coming in. It's all tanker loads coming in. It's kept refrigerated to preserve it, just like you would have milk from the dairy, out to the farms from there.
This is one of my favorite barns that we're visiting.
Here we have 190 that can go inside, outside. They're on straw bedding their whole life. I call this here our lounging area because really that's all they do. They can just hang out in the straw.
It's nice to be able to show everybody, you know, what we really want for the future. Hi guys. How old are these calves, Steve?
These are right at 100 days old. So in about 2.5 months, they'll be 500 pounds, be ready for market.
Even though we only have one of these barns, this is something that we're really looking forward to expanding, aren't we?
Absolutely, yeah. I think if the calves are healthier, they're going to gain better for the farmer, and they're going to be healthier and better product for the consumer.
The calves get to be together as a herd. They have the freedom of movement. They're playing, they're having fun, they're nuzzling each other.
Can't do that in a tie stall barn, can you?
Right? The veal here is pinker than the veal that's coming out of the group raised European style barns, right?
It is. Naturally, with the running, with all the bedding, they color a little pinker. The calves are fed the same as any other veal calf. They're fed 90% milk, only 10% roughage. But in this situation, they can go outside, which is uncommon for most veal farms. The younger chefs tend to want not only to know where their food comes from, but how it's raised. And it used to be we'd only want white veal. That's the only thing that was important. And fortunately for us, the chefs are embracing the pinker product. They know it's healthier. Those guys lead the way.
Go time on the first 2 tickets. It all starts from the humane raising of the product. That's a big thing for us, not just in the fact that they're using good practices. It's a whole mentality with a producer. When they're like that, you just know that they're going to be putting in the time to protect flavor. We get the best product we possibly can.
You saw the whole process from the start to the finish of the veal calves, and now this is truly farm to fork.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Seriously, great day, Steve. Thank you so much.
Thank you.